of Chopping It Up here on the Big Fight Field channel. I am your host tonight, the host of the Big Fight Field channel, Joseph Conlon. This is episode 1 of Chopping It Up, talking all things WWE, a brand new weekly podcast here on the channel. Everything you want to hear about WWE. So if you're a fan of professional wrestling, you're a fan of the WWE, this is your podcast right here. Don't have a set day yet, like what day of the week we're going to be recording. Tuesdays just fit the best of for all of us. But man,
Look here. I'm trying to cut you off. Let me tell y'all something, bro. When we record is when we record, and when the show go out is when the show go out. Okay, we'll get to it when we get to it. Okay,
we have lives.
Whatever the fuck we get to it.
Until we start getting paid to do this, we got our other jobs that give us money.
You'll get it whatever the fuck you get it.
Oh man, this is gonna be awesome. I can't wait. We got the OG. We got Cameron Johnson. He's been on here for about 3 years now.
Oh God,
he talks.
Right.
He's on here for AEW along with Wesley Williams, who's here occasionally. Cam, what's up, my guy?
What's up, man? I know y'all getting tired of seeing this face on the Big Fight Field YouTube channel, bro. Y'all probably open up the video and be like, shit, him again. Shit. Like, why don't you take a vacation or something, bro? Go away. But I got some news for y'all. I ain't going no damn well. Joseph pays me too damn well. Joseph pays me too damn well, bro. So if you want to blame anybody, blame Joseph, bro. Tell him to stop cutting the checks. When the checks stop cashing, I'll stop coming on here, bro. When the checks stop cashing, I'll stop coming on here. So if y'all want to blame somebody, blame Joseph.
Oh, come on. Don't put my name into this. God damn it. Don't put my name into this. Hey, I mean, I'm feeling way better tonight than I did last night. Let's just say that. For anybody who's a sport of basketball, we're not talking about it. We're not bringing it up, but I feel much better tonight than I do last night.
Speaking of Tyrese Maxey, congrats to him on winning the NBA Most Improved Player, man, the MIP. Congrats to him on that.
Appreciate it.
I think Kobe White got robbed, but, congrats to Tyrese Maxey. I'm happy for him.
It's a conversation for another day. And then we have our first – he's been on the channel before, but it's been like a long time. And now we got him on here weekly. I think along with Cam, he's one of the best people in the entire wrestling community. When we talk wrestling,
humbled. Thank you, but I'm not that good. I appreciate the comment. Thank you. That means a lot.
He's also a permanent member of the Rated M podcast.
Yes.
Every Thursday. We got 5 people now.
Both these guys.
Even a spoiler alert, Lewis is the 5th member. But we got 5 people now. And let's go. Is one of those people in the Rated M gang.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me. I also do ring announcing as well for the Carolina Wrestling Academy for the independent show Premier Wrestling Federation. I have also a professional wrestler in training, and I have known and got the chance to meet wonderful athletes such as JTG, who was in Crime Time, Steve Corino, who was actually former ECW World Heavyweight Champion, current head talent recruiter for WWE NXT, as well as his son Colby Corino, who was once the former NWA Junior World Heavyweight Champion. I have resources. I'm not saying that I'm going to promise you stuff, but if you want to get help pointed in the right direction, I am more than happy to help you guys out. Joseph, thank you again for having me. I appreciate that you want my knowledge and insight on WWE. This really does mean a lot. I don't think I have the best mind in the business. I just believe in creativity and wanting to make something great for everybody. Everybody deserves a piece of the pie. So what better way than to get started on chopping it up? So let's get started with this opening segment, man.
That's what's up, man. It's so good to have you on here. Dude, I had no idea that you wrestled. How long have you been wrestling for?
So believe it or not, I'm not actually wrestling yet. I'm still in training. I enrolled at the Carolina Wrestling Academy back in July of last year. But I don't want to do just wrestling. Sometimes I'll do occasional play-by-play commentary.
There we go.
For student shows. But mainly, my most recent live appearance was back in October for Premier Wrestling Federation. It's the Great Powerbomb Charlie Brown. I had the honor and privilege to announce Jay Malachi, who now known as Javon Evans in NXT. I ring announced his last Premier Wrestling Federation title match against Bojack, and my boy Cam was there.
He did a hell of a job on that show.
Yes, I did. So I mean, it's great to see where everything comes back full circle. I'm just occasionally off and on with wrestling only because my life outside is I'm currently taking care of my great grandmother. She'll be 86 in about 2 weeks. So I just make sure she's getting taken care of and stuff like that, and then wrestling will come. Wrestling will always be around, and wrestling will always have time to grow, just like how people grow. So I still watch the product and stuff like that from time to time. It's just trying to fit everything into my schedule. But luckily today was a great day to fit everything in, and I'm ready.
Exactly.
Like I said, I'm ready.
Wrestling isn't perfect, but wrestling continues to grow every day and every week. No matter how toxic this wrestling community is, wrestling is a beautiful thing. It really is. And when it's great, it's fucking great, man.
Hell yeah.
I'm ready to get into this. We got a lot to talk about. We have a new champion on Raw last night. We had, over the past couple days, we had some really unfortunate releases, which we're going to get into first, right in a matter of moments. We got some comments from Dave Meltzer. That guy never stays out. He never stays out of wrestling rumors. I'm kind of getting sick of the name Dave Meltzer, to be honest with you. And then we got the WWE draft, and then we got WWE This Week in WWE Throwback. I'm the host. I'm going to be asking these guys to guess the event this week. And then next week, for episode 2, it's Backlash week. So when we do This Week in WWE, it'll be Backlash related for sure. So without further ado, if you guys haven't already, be sure to go ahead and check out the AEW Dynasty review that I did here on the Big Fight Field channel. Be sure to go ahead and check that out, and all the other content that you might have missed here on the channel as well. So let's get into the topics here. We got quite a stuff to talk about. We're going to start with these releases, and unfortunately, I wouldn't call it a big release just because of the amount of usage he's had on the main roster, but a hell of a talent was released today in WWE. And let's just go through the names that have been released so far. Xia Li, Jinder Mahal, Sangha, Veer, and Zion Quinn were released on Friday night during SmackDown. And then yesterday, Von Wagner was released, and now today, Cameron Grimes, also known as Trevor Lee, was released from the WWE. Excuse me. First of all, it sucks that these people lose their jobs. This is their life. This is what they do. They get paid very handsomely, I'm sure, and they have a responsibility to put food on their family's table. So I am sorry to those that lost their jobs at the WWE. And I'm sure they're going to find work because there is so many wrestling companies around the world of wrestling, indie promotions. You got promotions like TNA, MLW, who I'm sure would love to have them. AEW, I don't know. There's too many people in AEW, but that's my first concern. I just hope they're okay with everything. I'm sure it might be a little tough right now, but the one that I'm kind of shocked about the most was Von Wagner because of he's been getting a lot of TV time in NXT, but Cameron Grimes is the best out of all of them by far. He actually had a connection with the audience back at NXT when it was first in the pandemic. I remember his feud with LA Knight and how over he was as the $1 Million champion when Ted DiBiase was managing LA Knight. That was so good. That was one of the highlights of NXT when COVID began, was Cameron Grimes. And unfortunately, he never had a chance on the main roster. We all have to admit it. That dude never, in my opinion, had a chance on the main roster to succeed. So we're going to start out with Cam here. Cam, what are your thoughts on these releases? What do you What are your thoughts, man?
I hate that all of the names involved got released. I really do. Xia Li, I'm going to start with her. I think she's somebody who could have been something on the main roster, but she was never given a chance. And then she got caught up and she was the protector. And then she got caught up and she was the protector. And then they turned her heel. And then they just never did anything with her as a talent. I thought Xia Li had something. I thought she had something. She did have a short feud with Becky Lynch, and I thought I thought Xia Li had the best match of her career against Becky Lynch. So, had the best match of her career against Becky Lynch. But I hate the fact that she was never really given a shot on the main roster. Vera Sangha of Indushare. I like Indushare. I like Vera Sangha. I thought Vera Sangha could have been something. I thought they could have been like a solid monster tag team, but they're really used. Jinder Mahal is another one that just kind of baffles me because he's a talented guy, at least in my opinion. The man is not WWE Championship material. I think that much is obvious. I don't think that man should, that really much is obvious. He had one of the worst WWE Championship reigns of all time, but uh, but I still think he could have been a solid contributor on the roster in the IC or US title division. His segment with The Rock, I'll be honest with you, Jinder outshined The Rock in that segment. Jinder Mahal was much better than The Rock in that segment. I mean, perfectly honest with you. And when we get into the mock draft that we're going to do, spoiler or draft predictions, he was actually one of the names that I had going back down to NXT because I would have liked to see what Shawn Michaels could have got out of him, but he got released, so he can't get that anymore. Zion Quinn was terrible. I was shocked Zion Quinn was even still employed, to be quite honest with you. When Zion Quinn got cut, I was like, when Zion Quinn got cut, I was like, he still worked there, so that was shocking.
I mean, hey, his main shine was getting squashed by Braun Breaker in 20 seconds, so
Yep.
that was his main roster run.
Yep. Zion Quinn. I thought Zion Quinn had not Zion Quinn. Von Wagner. Von Wagner. I thought Von Wagner had something.
I did too.
The man could not talk or cut a promo to save his life, but he had a rubber stone with him. But in NXT, he was getting over. He was getting over by putting people through the table. They tried to do more of in character work with Von Wagner, trying to get people to see who Von Wagner is. They brought up his kids and the fact that he's I think they brought up his kids. They brought up his kids and the fact that Von Wagner's father was a Beverly brother and he was starting to get over with the NXT audience. He came out and put people through tables, and people really enjoyed that. So that did shock me to see that Von Wagner was released because I thought he could have been something more too. And then Cameron Grimes is the one that makes me the most mad out of all of them because Cameron Grimes is the best one out of all of them. Cameron Grimes is a great professional wrestler, but we never.
And he's a Carolina native, just like we are.
Yep, but we never saw that on the main roster because the man was never given an opportunity. The man was never given an opportunity, and Cameron Grimes pisses me off. It pisses me off what happened to him in the sense of, right, you could argue, oh, well, Cameron Grimes wasn't over. Karrion Kross, no disrespect to him, he had multiple opportunities on the main roster to get over. He has. He has. And if you're still bringing up the 2021 incident where he got squashed by Jeff Hardy to mention why he's not over, then I cannot take you serious because then I cannot take you serious because that was 3 years ago with a senile old man in the chair.
That was with the old regime too.
Exactly. Triple H has been in the chair for what, a year and a half, and he still cannot get Karrion Kross over. Karrion Kross has had multiple opportunities to get over. He hasn't been able to get over. But we released somebody like Cameron Grimes. He was doing nothing on television. I thought a Cameron Grimes LA Knight tag team could have worked. You know what I mean? I thought that could work. You know what I mean? Especially with LA Knight last year before he became the star that he was. I would have liked to seen a segment where LA Knight or LA Knight is feuding with somebody like Pretty Deadly. Right? LA Knight is feuding with one of the heel tag teams on the roster. And LA Knight needs a tag team partner. Right? And LA Knight needs a tag team partner. And Cameron Grimes goes, pick me, Knight, pick me, pick me, pick me. And LA Knight's like, oh God, I don't want nothing to do with you ever again. Leave me alone. But out of reluctance, LA Knight doesn't have a choice. He picks Cameron Grimes to be his tag team partner or something like that. And you let the two of them and we get an odd pairing, odd couple tag team for LA Knight and Cameron Grimes. Something like that. Something like that, man. Cameron Grimes deserved a lot better than he got on the main roster. That one pisses me off. But hey, Cameron Grimes, I would love to see what Cameron Grimes could do on the Indies. I've mentioned before, I would like to see Jinder Mahal in TNA. I would like to see what TNA could get out of him. TNA has been really good at rebuilding a lot of people's careers, especially people that you have no interest in. Look at AJ Francis, for example. AJ Francis in TNA has been really, really good. And I thought he was a lost cause in WWE. He was somebody who I was not interested in at all. And TNA has actually been able to get something out of him. So I would like to see what Jinder Mahal could do on the Indies. I'd like to see what Cameron Grimes could do on the Indies. And hopefully they give him another opportunity to come back. Because those releases I don't understand. But hey, it is what it is.
I totally agree with you with the Von Wagner thing. He was getting himself over with Robert Stone and Robert Stone's kids, and they wasted it. And they had him lose 2 matches to Lexis King. Where let's be honest, Lexis King is not really that good in NXT. Esco, I want to hear your thoughts on these releases.
Hold on, Esco. Hold on, Esco. By the way, I told you guys. Didn't I tell you guys Ryan Pimble Jr. wasn't that good? Didn't I tell y'all? I told you guys Ryan Pimble Jr. wasn't that good. I told y'all Ryan Pimble Jr. was not that good. I tried to tell y'all. Somebody online told me Brian Pillman Jr. would be has more star potential than Roosh. Y'all look like a damn fool right now, man. I told y'all BPJ was not like that. He ain't got that dog in him. All right, go ahead.
Well, I'll just say this first. It sucks that the releases have happened. Especially Jinder Mahal, Cameron Grimes, Von Wagner. I mean, whether we want to admit it or not, Jinder Mahal was once a WWE champion. And he beat Randy Orton. That's a high-level talent in the company. It also sucks, too, for Cameron Grimes. I really loved his idea of the richest man in NXT, like his hat and everything like that. I'll tell you what kind of weirds me out is that if you think about it, for Cameron Grimes, you get more out of Cameron Grimes from the WWE 2K My Rise storylines than you do in the actual storylines in WWE. And I think that's kind of messed up in my opinion. Because, I mean, if you're good enough to be in a video game to where people have to go up against you and stuff like that, you should at least be good enough to, face somebody on the main roster. If I'm not mistaken, didn't he have like a SmackDown segment with Adam Pearce saying that he was going to take things to the moon and stuff like that? And then that really went nowhere? I mean,
yeah, I don't remember when it was.
I can't remember what it was, but that was like such a long time ago.
He squashed Baron Corbin 2 weeks in a row, and they did nothing with it.
Yeah, like nothing really came of it, and it's very disappointing. Luckily, I do potentially, honestly, see Cameron Grimes and Xia Li possibly heading for AEW. That's my personal opinion. I don't want it, but for Cameron Grimes, with him living in the Carolinas, it's closer down south to Florida. So I'm thinking for transportation reasons because of the headquarters and stuff like that. But then, so that way he stays within. But if I could make any predictions, I'll say this. I would really love for Von Wagner to go to New Japan Pro Wrestling America. I think he will have a great shot to not only expose his character, but compete with some of the best and up-and-coming talent of strong style wrestling. I believe he could fit that style of it, in my opinion. Xia Li, I enjoyed her in NXT UK personally. I just feel like a lot of these, mainly those wrestlers, didn't get enough potential. I really was not into Veer Mahan and like everybody else. I mean, the only thing I remember of Veer Mahan is the constant Veer Mahan's coming to Raw. Veer Mahan's coming to Raw. And it's like, I mean, it's like, okay, we got that going on. So I'm like, okay, what's next? I mean, it sucks that happened. But I can say this, though. July, if some of them have a 90-day no-compete clause, May, I'm just saying, Double or Nothing's coming up in May. June or July, you have the Best of Super Juniors with New Japan, and then you have other events that they could do too. I mean, I agree with Cameron's idea of Jinder Mahal being in TNA. That would be wonderful. But honestly, this is me. I would probably have them all start off on the indies, because that way they had got that WWE exposure. That could be higher pay for them, and then they can reinvent themselves on the indies as they get ready to do what they do. Like, look at Matt Cardona for an example. I mean, homie, like, Zack Ryder's dead. Like, Zack Ryder is completely dead. And the stuff that he's doing, like, right now with on the indies and helping out with TNA and fucking AEW and everything, remarkable. So, I mean, indie wrestling is taking a shot. Indie wrestling is definitely coming up and about, and I can speak that from experience as well, honestly. So, be on the lookout for these guys, man. I'm just saying, everybody's hungry.
Exactly. Maximum Man Models are a great example of that. They had talent in WWE, the gimmick was shit, but they're making it work. They got released, and now they're playing into the gimmick. Now they're playing into that gimmick, and now they're appearing everywhere. MXM, they're appearing everywhere. They're a hot commodity now in indie wrestling, and they're a great tag team.
And they're going to be taking on the Motor City Machine Guns soon. I mean, in Motor City Machine Guns, you get no legendary tag team than that of like the modern era of professional wrestling.
Yep. But speaking of Cardona, I still say the best thing Matt Cardona has ever done is he gave us Edge's Bitch by Joe Hendry. If you have never heard that song, you need to hear it.
Yo, that song is funny.
You need to go on the TNA. I know this is a WWE only podcast. I'm sorry. But I'm sorry. If you have not heard this, you need to go on TNA YouTube. You need to go on TNA's YouTube channel and look up Edge's Bitch by Joe Hendry. That song is fantastic. It is funny as hell. But to me, you will always be Edge's Bitch. Y'all need to see that. It is absolutely fantastic television.
Oh, I gotta look that up now because I've never heard of this song. But before we
too, it's funny as hell, dude.
I definitely will. I definitely will for sure. I would like to see Von Wagner pull a Drew McIntyre. Von Wagner is still young into his wrestling career, and he's still learning. He's still learning to cut promos and a little bit green in the ring, but he's still learning. I would like to see him build himself up on the independent circuit. I would like to see him build himself up in a place like TNA for a couple years, and then when his time is up with TNA, maybe he comes back to NXT as a bigger star than he was coming into NXT. Because I remember right before the whole Vince McMahon stuff began, he looked at Von Wagner as a potential WrestleMania main eventer. So that might have been his big push when he came up to the main roster, was because Vince McMahon was such a big fan of Von Wagner. So maybe that could happen with Von. He goes out and he makes himself a name in TNA. He comes back in about 3 years and he's a bigger star coming back to NXT than he first was when nobody heard of him before. So
I'd love to see it. You look at what TNA's done with Dana Brooke, with Ash by Elegance. I'll be honest with you. That was a name I was hoping. That was a name I was hoping TNA would sign. I said if I'm TNA, I would take a shot on somebody like Dana Brooke.
I didn't even know she was in TNA. This news to me. When she signed?
Brooke. She signed. I think it was this year, but she's doing the. She's basically doing a gimmick. It's like Timeless Tony Storm, but it's not like Ash. But it's not. I think her name's like Ash by Elegance, something like that. But Dana Brooke in TNA has been a lot better, a lot more impressive than what we've seen in WWE. So
it's reinventing a lot. A lot of, I can't speak for AEW, but like I can tell a lot of wrestling companies are doing a lot of reinvention with themselves and everything. It's like, I think it's very nice and everything. There are moments where everything needs improvement, but I can definitely say you have more of a variety of what to watch if you don't want one thing. Like you literally have more of like everything to watch, and it's just great. It's really great.
Of course. All right, let's talk Raw. Specifically, the main event last night. Vacant Women's World Championship. They put it up in a battle royal. According to Pat McAfee, this is the 4th time in WWE history that a new champion was going to be crowned in a battle royal, which is a really nice fact. I found that hard to believe, but
I think it's world champion in particular, because I remember there being some bullshit battle royals for like the Divas title, for like the IC title. So and like
Yeah, they were talking about world titles.
okay.
Oh, okay.
They were talking world titles that were vacant, not like world titles that was like being defended and everything. Because I remember all the moments Christian would win a battle royal for the Intercontinental Championship and freaking end up winning and stuff like that.
I remember Cody. I remember he won the battle royal at Over the Limit to get that number one contendership match, and he was being a dick to Santino the whole night, only to tell Cody, I'm cashing on you. I was there that night. I remember that.
Yeah, because that was also CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. I remember that.
For that, yeah, I definitely remember that feud. But last night, I'm not really big into battle royal matches. I'm not really a big fan of it. That's just me personally. It came down to 3. It came down to Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, and Becky Lynch. Now, after the heat she has gotten, first of all, you know what? I'm not going to talk about this first because I'm not happy about the result from last night. I'm going to let Escobar talk about it first.
Okay. I'll admit I was not happy for 10 minutes. And I thought about it. But before we begin, we can just acknowledge this. Becky Lynch is now the second WWE Women's World Champion, or are they still continuing the lineage from the SmackDown Women's Championship?
They're still continuing the Women's Championship.
Okay, so if we're going to go with that logic, the inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion now has the title that she won. So I believe she's now a 7-time Women's Champion in WWE. Yep. So that's very remarkable to see. Now, it does suck that Rhea Ripley got injured. I enjoyed Rhea Ripley's character and her work for like a while, honestly. Now, I did want Liv Morgan to win. Mm-hmm. I really did. I really wanted Liv to win. However, I thought about it. And with pro wrestling, it's a story. I mean, if Liv Morgan already wins, yes, she could have a monster title defense reign and stuff like that, but she's on a revenge tour. And I think if you let Liv get like a little bit more pissed off and let her get angrier that she didn't win, that could spark her getting that chance to get angrier, to be like, okay, now I'm hungrier to get this World Heavyweight Championship. It kind of stimulates back to, I think this is the right pay-per-view. If I get it wrong, forgive me. ECW November to Remember 95, when Steve Austin took on Mikey Whipwreck. When Paul Heyman wanted Steve to win the ECW title on his first night at ECW. And Austin was like, no, because you got to build it up for this story. And you could go with the idea that Austin said, he goes, I may have lost the match, but just because I lost the match, I got a taste of blood. And I got close to that championship. And that makes me want it more. I think if you can do something like that with Liv Morgan, saying that, like, I was so close to winning, I should have known better, but she just gets upset about it. She ends up becoming, like, more analytical within the ring and stuff like that, improves her ring awareness and stuff like that. And then, boom, she becomes aware she wants that title more. And you could instantly set something up for not Backlash, because you could, if you do Backlash and have her lose, you kind of might be pulling the trigger a little bit on giving up on her. However, you keep having her go through this cycle where she just keeps fucking up and she's going to come back and get stronger. Oh, monster heel shit's going to happen. It's just patience, because I was impatient. I was like, you could have gave it to Liv. Why Becky? There's no point of her doing it because she lost at WrestleMania. And I mean, why? And then I'm like, you know what? Give it time. Give it time. But you know what, though? I'll say this. Triple H did it right, because I'm invested to see what's going to happen next week.
Go ahead, Cam.
Okay, my thoughts on this are simple, right? Hold on. What the fuck is Jalen Brunson and Most Improved Player Talks? What the fuck? Okay, all right. I'm sorry about that. I didn't have an issue with it. I pitched the idea last week on Rated M of doing a double turn with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, where Liv Morgan, she goes heel in a similar fashion to where Drew McIntyre went heel, where she blames the fans and calls the fans hypocrites because she blames the fans and calls the fans hypocrites because Liv Morgan is basically like Rhea Ripley took me out for 8 months, and you people still cheer her. Meanwhile, I take Rhea Ripley out. Meanwhile, I do the same thing, give her ass some payback. You know what I'm saying? Y'all looking at me as the bad guy. Man, fuck each and every last one of y'all. Man, fuck each and every last one of y'all. So I would have done that, but I don't have an issue with Becky Lynch winning. They went to their biggest story. That's what happened. Rhea Ripley got down. Rhea Ripley went down. They called Becky Lynch out. Like, hey, Becky, we need you to come here. Becky, we need you to come here and win this title. Becky won the title, and knowing Becky Lynch is going to put Liv Morgan over for the championship. Liv Morgan is going to end up with that championship anyway, because I think the plan is Liv Morgan is going to snap, and she's going to go batshit insane, and she's going to go heel. I think that's the plan with Liv Morgan anyway. Liv Morgan is going to go heel, and Liv Morgan is going to eventually get that SmackDown's champ is eventually going to get that with his world championship anyway. Also, if Liv Morgan wins, I know we have a draft coming up, but like if Liv Morgan wins, who are some strong baby faces on the WWE roster she can feud with? They don't have that many strong baby faces on the roster she can feud with. But you turn Liv Morgan heel and you have her work with Becky, and then let's say, Becky's going to eventually put Liv over, and you have the draft coming up. Now you can do Liv and Naomi. You can do Liv and Bianca maybe. You can do Liv and Michin or whoever they call up from NXT, which we'll get into. Whoever the hell else are like the top female baby faces on the roster, Liv Morgan now can do that. But Liv Morgan beating Becky Lynch for the championship, I think, will work out for Liv in the end. And when Rhea Ripley comes back, you have the heel Liv and you have the babyface Rhea, who was broken away from Judgment Day, and Rhea Ripley comes back and wants the title. But
you could use the logic of this too now that I think about it. Liv Morgan could be like, you know what? You barely won because you know why? You didn't face me one-on-one. You had to beat me in a battle royal by throwing me over the top rope. I bet you can't pin or submit me. Boom. There you go right there. Yeah. So talking about it makes me feel a little bit better, but like I said, yes. I was mad for 10 minutes. I really was mad for 10 minutes because I was like, really? And then I was like, wait, it's okay. But you know what? That's what makes wrestling great. This is what this show is about. Because exactly. We get to expand our knowledge, expand our talent. And you know what? I'm just saying, give it time. But I'm just saying that would be a cool dude if Liv was like, Liv should definitely do the whole, you didn't eliminate me. Well, like, you eliminated me, but you couldn't pin me, you couldn't submit me. You barely won.
Exactly.
And
Talk about this.
And she could say where she cheated as well. And she could be like, you slid in when it was time for me to win after you almost went through the announce table and stuff like that. And I was getting gained up on by Nia Jax and everything. So she could come up with the excuses and then she could just like snap. I think, and I'm going to say this too now, and I'm going to be controversial and I don't care. I think she can pull off the psycho chick look better than AJ Lee.
Ooh. Okay.
I think there's potential. And me personally, I would love to see a matchup between Liv Morgan and Fallon Henley. Personally, that's just me though. I think that'd be a good match.
I don't think she's getting called up anytime soon.
Oh, I know, but I think that'd be a pretty good matchup in my opinion.
Yeah. I feel better talking about this now with you guys than I did when I first saw it. I'm like, ugh, Becky Lynch again, bro. But here's my thing. I don't know when Rhea Ripley's coming back.
3 months.
3 months?
Within
okay.
3 months.
First off, hold on. First off, if Rhea Ripley gonna be back in 3 months, why the fuck did they take the championship off? Is what I want to know. Like, if she's gonna be, if the time.
Babyface storyline, Cam. Babyface storyline. Plant the seeds. Plant the seeds.
I am praying for a Rhea Ripley return is 3 months. Why did they take the championship off? Like, Logan Paul does not defend the champ. Logan Paul barely shows up to defend the championship. Roman Reigns would show up every 3 months and defend the If she's going to be out for 3 months, they should have just kept the championship on. I thought they were doing it because she was going to be out for 6, 7, 8 months.
What's the women's division fighting for then? Are they fighting for the tag team titles? Because that shit's irrelevant.
You got the Queen of the Ring coming up. I have hope in Triple H. He does do good in tournaments. I'm a sucker for tournaments too. So I'm just saying, like, maybe I'm not trying to put all my eggs in one basket with my dude Trips because I'm like the biggest Triple H mark in the world. I don't care what nobody says.
Triple H merchant.
Say it again.
Is that you Triple H merchant?
Is that a new shill? Is that a new thing for shill or something like that? I don't know.
I think so. I
I
still
don't know.
Shill there, so.
I'm the biggest fanboy. I don't care, but I think he knows what to do. He knows what to do. So,
I don't know when Rhea Ripley's coming back. Liv Morgan, she needs to be the champion when Rhea Ripley comes back because Becky Lynch did not take out Rhea Ripley. Liv Morgan took out Rhea Ripley. Liv Morgan injured Rhea Ripley. So
look at you, though, Joseph. You're getting invested, though. That's the thing. You're getting invested into it, which could then inspire the heel turn. You're getting work, bro. They're working you. They worked me for 10 minutes until I figured it out.
Yeah.
You worked yourself into a shoot, brother.
Here's the thing, too. Liv Morgan has came up short so many times, and the fans have not had her back. So that needs to be the reason why she turned heel.
Yes,
She was eliminated last at last year's Women's Royal Rumble by Rhea Ripley. She was the last one eliminated by Bayley this year in the Royal Rumble. She pinned Bianca Belair in the Elimination Chamber. It came down to her and Becky Lynch. And about 5 seconds later, she lost to Becky Lynch. And now it came down to her and Becky Lynch again last night for the championship. And she lost. And the crowd went nuts when Becky Lynch won. So whenever she turns heel, her explanations need to be, I came up short so many times for championship opportunities over and over again, and you've never had my back. Fuck you. That's literally what she needs to say.
Y'all remember the South Park episode where they're like, did you get my customer service in a timely manner? Fuck you. That's what we need for Liv Morgan. But I like that idea, Joseph. I hope they do that too. Like, look at this fantasy booking right here. Call us, WWE. Call us.
Man, we're just invested in what's gonna happen with this championship.
It's a matter of time. I'll say that. It's a matter of time before she turns heel. Give it about after Backlash, maybe. But I'll say this, though.
Oh, yeah, that heel turn goes. That heel turn.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready.
That heel turn is coming.
It's kind of like when Becky turned heel at SummerSlam.
Which was fucking stupid.
Oh, I know, but like I remember the crowd losing their shit when Becky turned heel.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They went crazy, but
bro, speaking of heel turn, bro, it's funny how in her book, because I read Becky Lynch's book. It's great, by the way. It's funny how in the book Becky Lynch, Becky Lynch in the book talked about the point when she turned heel. Becky Lynch was like going to creative every week. She was going to creative every week, like like y'all do know this heel turn is not gonna work, right? She was like the heel turn is not gonna work. Like what's gonna happen is I'm gonna beat the shit out of Charlotte in SummerSlam as planned, and then everybody's gonna cheer for me anyway because people don't want to boo me. And they're like, no, man, it'll be great. And then Becky Lynch, and then they got mad at Becky for not being a good enough heel. Becky was like, I tried to tell you motherfuckers I tried to tell you motherfuckers what was gonna happen. So this is what happened. So this is what happened. Y'all either need to turn me babyface or do whatever y'all gonna do. Because I told y'all this shit won't gonna work.
Oh my god. So at the end of the day, it's unfortunate for Rhea Ripley, but this Rhea Ripley injury might be a good thing for Liv Morgan because let's talk about for a minute. What would have happened if, let's say, Rhea Ripley didn't get injured? Liv Morgan probably would have wrestled her at Backlash. She would have lost. Would they have moved on after that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
But I guarantee each female athlete is going to come out looking good. I will say this, though. I am looking forward to either a SummerSlam or a Survivor Series matchup between Liv and Rhea. And honestly, I'll be the one that says this because I am a fan of long-term booking, if done correctly, not when you hold a title for 3 years and you just defend it whenever you feel like it. I'm talking about when everything builds up. And you know what? And I'm going to say this, though, too. I hope Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, I hope that builds up to WrestleMania 41.
Ooh.
I think there's potential in doing that.
I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it. I think the next year 41 next year is Rhea and Bianca. But I would not hate I would not hate if they did Rhea and Liv at WrestleMania next year. I don't think that's happening because I think Bianca's getting Rhea, but I would not be mad if that was the match they did next year.
I wouldn't hate it either, but what are you doing with Liv as champion from the time she wins it until WrestleMania? Is she really going to have an 8-month reign as the world champion?
She could go all around saying, you know what? I'm the best. I took out the champion. Nobody can take me out. That could give her that freaking ego boost and stuff like that. You start bringing in the baby faces and everything like that. Give her a good showing of her and Bianca Belair at like Survivor Series or something. If they're both on the opposite brands, give that a good showing. Or if Bayley's still champion, if they do the champion versus champion stuff, give that a good showing. Like, Liv needs to have that cocky, arrogant, kind of like Alexa Bliss 2016, 2017 attitude. If she can get that, I think we'll be at good hands. That's just me, though.
I'm down, man. I'm excited. I'm curious to see what happens with Liv Morgan here going forward. But let's talk a little bit NXT because for some reason Dave Meltzer decided to talk about NXT wrestlers last week. I
have the quote said too that he said, by the way.
Okay, I don't want to waste too much time on it, but he did talk about Tatum Paxley, which I kind of do agree with him on that. I'm not really a big fan of Tatum Paxley right now. He said Trick Williams is not that good of a wrestler, and that I do disagree with. I disagree with that.
Is that what you want to talk about first?
Sure. Dude, do we really want to talk about Tatum Paxley? Let's be real.
She's going to win the women's championship tonight. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Stop.
I'm just saying.
Look here, I will tell you right now, I will drive to Orlando and I will make Shawn Michaels' other eye look lazy if he take that championship off Roxanne Perez. I'm telling you that.
Yeah, you better stop it, man. Roxanne Perez is not losing that championship tonight. Stop it.
If he take that championship off Roxanne Perez, Shawn Michaels, I promise you, your other eye is going to look lazy messing with me.
Bruh.
Your other eye is going to look lazy messing with me, I promise you. But no.
Well, there goes our NXT sponsorship for that one now. No, but this is what Dave Meltzer said, and I quote in regards to Trick Williams. It says, Trick isn't that good. That's the reality. He's got incredible charisma, but you put him in a main event match. Granted, he did look really good against Ilya Dragunov, but Ilya is one of those people that gives you a false perception of the ability of the other person. It's like wrestling Ric Flair or a tag team wrestling the Young Bucks. You always look better. You see all these tag teams against the Young Bucks and think these guys are great, but they're never great against anybody else. And Ilya is the same way.
I disagree with him saying that Trick Williams is not that good because I saw him in person against Carmelo Hayes at Philadelphia, and they should have gotten more time, but man, they had a very good match, in my opinion.
The steel cage match was fucking awesome, by the way.
Really? I liked the singles match better.
Oh, I like both, but I'm a sucker for rivalries that start off in a cage match. I'll say this because I try not to give Dave a lot of attention.
No.
Yes, I respect him for what he's done since 1983, but I don't think he's like the gospel of wrestling writing. I mean, I'm not a fan of the star matches. I'm not a fan of all of that. That's just me personally. I believe he's a fan like we are. We have different opinions. But in regards to Trick Williams, I want y'all to think about this. My man is literally a football athlete turned into pro wrestler, and he's been doing this shit for 3 years. The conditioning is different. The tryouts are different. The athleticism is different. In football, you're trained to condition your body to go 60 minutes within intermittent breaks. Pro wrestling, you have to act. You have to interact with people. You have to be like you're on Broadway. You have to use your athleticism. This shit's not easy.
No.
And this is my personal opinion. For some wrestling journalists, not all, but for some, like Dave Meltzer, until you step into a ring or until you understand what it's like to take a bump, I don't want to hear what you have to say about who's good and who's not good. That's just me. I mean, if you're going to say that you're like the best and know everything with wrestling.
No,
I'm just saying, like, I mean, your favorite wrestler is Will Ospreay. This is no disrespect to Will Ospreay, Will Ospreay doesn't wrestle like Trick Williams, in my opinion.
No.
Until I think until you take like a bump or a good inside and out of like a character development, I wouldn't say much. But I'm just saying it's been 3 years. No one is really that good within 3 years until their fifth or like sixth, seventh year. That's when they peak. Prime example: Triple H debuted in the WWF in 1995. It wasn't until 2000 to 2001 he got his peak when he won the freaking WWF Championship, allied himself with Stone Cold Steve Austin, did everything. So, I mean, if you're going to go with that analogy, it's not really going to work. Some are good within their first year, I admit it. But if we're going to be realistic here, from a football player turned pro wrestler, you're going to have to go through accommodations and changing. I mean,
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that. I mean, not everybody's a freaking prodigy. Everybody has to learn. I mean, I still got shit to learn and everything. I've been doing this almost a year now. I mean, so.
I will say this, though. Look at how long's Braun Breaker been wrestling for?
3 years.
He's incredible. Like, he's like obviously he's gonna have to work on character and promo work on the main roster, but his in-ring wrestling, he's incredible. He is a really, really good wrestler, and he's someone that picked it up fast. And I'm sure that Trick's picked up things fast as well, but like they're kind of like they came in at the same time. But I don't know. That's just an example for me. Do you have anything to add on to this, Cam?
How mad would y'all be if I thought Dave Meltzer was right in the aspect of Trick Williams in the ring? I don't think is there yet. I love Trick Willie. Best believe I love Trick Willie. Every time he come on, I'm doing whoop, that Trick. Yeah, I love Trick Willie. Don't get me wrong. Trick Williams is fantastic. That's my boy. I hope he win the NXT Championship tonight from Ilya Dragunov.
Oh, but he's going to. He's beating Ilya.
I cannot wait for that. But in ring wise, he's still very green to this, but that's okay. He's in the right place where he belongs. He's in developmental. He's in NXT. Like NXT, they have a lot of people under contract now. When I watch them, I just go, they're not good. I just go, they're not good. I just go, they're not good. But I'm not as harsh on them as I am somebody on the main roster TV, and also with the circumstances they have. There's something with NXT that I watch and I just go, okay, this person sucks, but they're where they should be in NXT. Because, even though WWE is trying to hype it up as the third brand, it still is developmental. So it's like, okay, they suck. Maxine Dupree is another one. Maxine Dupree is another one. Is another one. Like when people were sitting there saying Maxine Dupree sucks, she's not good. I'm like, yeah, Maxine Dupree ain't good because she ain't. I'm like, yeah, Maxine Dupree ain't good, but I can't blame her for not being good. WWE just threw her on the WWE threw her on main roster television without having a match. Then she has a match on main roster television. Then she has a match on main roster television, and they're telling Maxine just learn it on the fly. Of course, you're not great. People like Maxine Dupree sucks. Well, yeah, she sucks because she's having to learn it on the fly. Like, of course, she's not that good.
And doing shit on the fly ain't easy.
Exactly.
I mean, we've done that in rehearsals too, man. Like I've done rehearsals with some vets and like people that are starting out on the indies. Even just trying to call spots and try to communicate and find stuff to do, that stuff's complicated. You got to communicate with them. But here's the thing, though, too. You're really expecting somebody that is new to this, that hasn't done this before, I might add, to be good and developmental. Okay, maybe it's like I said, unless Dave takes a bump or if Dave does something that involves it, I'm not going to consider his opinion to be all of that. I see his point. I disagree a little bit, but Cam, you make valid points too. But I'm just saying, you're in developmental. You're a pro football player, so you got the athletic background. You just need to have the wrestling and ring conditioning, how to take bumps safely, and do all that.
And in the ring, he's improving. He's improving in the ring. You see that every week. He's still green in the ring, but in the ring, he's improving, right? But in the ring, he's showing signs of improvement. In the ring, he's showing signs in the ring, he's showing signs of improvement, which is really all I ask. Which is really all I ask. But if we're being honest, Trick Williams' wrestling ability is not what cares him. It's the fact that he's the most over guy on NXT right now. That's okay. And that is okay.
So that's okay. But when I say Undertaker's gimmick makes up for his lack of wrestling, that gets me the freaking red flag and the cancel culture.
You got shit on that. You got shit on that for Undertaker slander. No,
it's not slander. I'm not saying he's a horrible wrestler. He's a great athlete, but we're not going to give him GOAT wrestling ring status when we know his gimmick carried himself.
I know it's not. I know it's not slander. I'm just messing with you.
See, okay, I got proof. I got proof on that for when we do our Wrestlers Court episode.
Like a guy like Shawn Michaels was fucking phenomenal in the ring. So.
He was freaking before and after the drugs. He was great. He really was. I mean, he was wonderful. And then you got the Tatum Paxley situation where it says, Dave Meltzer says, and I quote, "I hate that character. Hate it. It's just a waste of time."
I hate too.
It sucked with Alexa Bliss. Then Alba Fire and Isla Dawn did it, and it wasn't good with them either. And she's the worst out of all of them.
The Tatum Paxley character is not good.
It's terrible.
This whole stalking shit they had her doing with Larry Valkyrie. By the way, I just want to say, only in wrestling can you build a stalker up as a sympathetic babyface. Only in wrestling can you do that. Only can you build up a sympathetic. Only wrestling can you build up a sympathetic character as a stalker. Y'all remember when Dexter came back to WWE, and before we found out that Miz was paying Dexter Lumis to stalk him. Y'all remember when Dexter Lumis came back to WWE and Dexter Lumis was stalking the Miz each week on WWE television?
Yeah.
Miz was trying to do something, and Dexter Lumis was stalking him. Miz was at his house with his kids, and Dexter Lumis was in the window drawing him. And then we supposed to sit there and cheer for Dexter Lumis because he's a freak and everything. No, that man is not a babyface. That man is a stalker. Only in wrestling can you.
You remember the WWF even had a wrestler called the Stalker, and he had the freaking he had like a freaking like Rambo knife and everything. He had his face all painted camouflage. You remember that, Cam?
Yes. Bro, only in wrestling can you build up a baby. Only in wrestling can you build up a stalker as a sympathetic babyface. Only in wrestling can you do that. But like she was sitting there stalking Lyra Valkyria. I'm sitting there going, what is the connection here? Like, why is she all of a sudden attached at the hip to Lyra Valkyria? And like Lyra Valkyria, and like the Tatum Paxley character is awful. Like the Tatum Paxley character is god awful.
I think they try to misconception the goth style of wrestling. Like, I mean, I've even seen people on Twitter/X that's like, anytime they do the goth gimmick, it's pretty much like a guy's fantasy and stuff like that. But I'm like, no, this is me. If you want to build the goth character, just kind of make it kind of like Batman, dark, brooding, but not like my precious. I mean, just
bad.
I mean, the last goth gimmick that I enjoyed and I don't give a fuck was Kevin Thorne. That's the last gimmick I enjoyed that was like that level. And that was what, 2007, 2006?
The Tatum Paxley shit was not good, but I disagree with Dave Meltzer on the Isla Dawn, Alba Fire stuff. I thought that stuff.
I liked it personally.
I thought Isla Dawn and Alba Fire.
You know, you like the Alexa Bliss one too. You have a Lily doll.
Shut up. But even with Alexa Bliss, I thought her character work was tremendous. The writing was shit, but her character work was tremendous. She did it.
Her swinging in the Elimination Chamber, I thought that was funny as hell.
Her character work was tremendous. The writing was god awful. But
I did not like the Alexa Playground, but I liked the stuff she did with the Fiend. Besides the WrestleMania match with Randy Orton, which was just, the
freaking mystery gift bag or gift box or something.
That was bad, but I liked it before. I liked what she did with Bray Wyatt before she did the whole Alexa Playground thing. That I was not a fan of.
The Fireball segment with Orton was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was good. I liked that a lot. So, that's Trick Williams and Tatum Paxley from Dave Meltzer. So now, ladies and gentlemen, on Friday night is night one of the WWE draft. So we're going to do some predictions, and the way is going to do it is I'm not going to list the entire roster off, obviously. We'd be here forever. So, just going to name about 10 to 15 wrestlers, and, we can predict what brand they are going to be on. So, figured we start easy here. Cody Rhodes.
SmackDown.
And man, SmackDown, he's the WWE champion. Although I would not hate it if Cody Rhodes went to Raw. Raw is a 3-hour show, and Cody Rhodes is easily the best part of Monday Night Raw when he's on there. So I will move him to Raw. But can I go, if y'all don't mind, I'm going to go on a little rant for a minute. I hate the brand split. I hate the idea of a brand split so bad. I really do. I think the brand split is stupid. I'm not a fan of the brand split. I think a brand split is stupid. I think a brand split is stupid. I hate having to limit your roster. This guy can only appear on one show. This guy can only appear on this show. We can only see this guy on this show.
Oh, dude, I mean, that's bullshit, because by Survivor Series, when they're doing War Games and shit, oh shit, here's this person from SmackDown on Raw. So, I mean,
I agree, but I hate the brand split so much. I wouldn't be against a soft brand split, maybe this is a shitty example, but like with my universe mode on WWE 2K, I don't have a brand split because I like to be able to put guys wherever I want. Let's say, because I like to be able to put guys wherever I want. But with my universe mode, I have a soft brand split. So somebody like Seth Rollins, I have Seth Rollins as, if I need Seth Rollins on Raw, I'll put him on here. Other than that, the man is on SmackDown doing his shit. Right? Other than that, the man is on SmackDown doing his shit. He's being the face of SmackDown right now. It's the World Heavyweight Champion, or in that world title feud. CM Punk on my universe mode. That man is exclusively on SmackDown. I'll bring him to Raw if I have some shit for him to do, but that man is exclusively on SmackDown. Kind of like the House of Black, kind of like the House of Black with AEW and Collision, right?
right.
If there's a situation that calls for House of Black, they're not forbidden from appearing on Dynamite and Wrestling, but you primarily see them on Collision. I don't have an issue with them doing a soft brand split. But like them doing like a hard brand split where they do a draft and shit, where it's like, oh, this guy can only appear, this guy can only appear. I hate that shit so much.
I'll counter you with this. I see your point on it, but you have to think. At the time they did it, they acquired WCW talent. The wrestling rosters is huge as fuck as well. So, but I think of it like this. Unless you are having one champion be your main world champion for your company, I say do it. Do no brand split. But if you have the WWE Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, I think it gives a chance for everybody to showcase where they want to go to. Yep. That's twice the amount of revenue. That's twice the amount of exposure, and that could give you those fantasy matchups.
I agree.
Now, yes. This is my opinion. This is just me. If I had the chance to book the WWE, I would do my brand split like this. I will have, for Raw, I will have like my women's division, but SmackDown will have the tag team division. So that way there is a difference.
I think that's something they should go with also. I have no idea why. I was not a fan of them splitting up the tag team titles because everybody online is trying to sit there and go, we finally have the depth in the tag team division. No, I'm like, no, you don't. I'm like, you don't have the depth in the tag team division to do it. I'm like, you don't have the depth in the tag team division to do it because now if we get two belts, we get a set of Raw tag team titles, we get a set of SmackDown tag team titles. It's going to be rematches over and over and over again between the two.
That's the thing. If on one brand, you should have each different. Like, kind of like in, remember how in the Ruthless Aggression era in Raw, we had the women's division, but SmackDown had the cruiserweights?
I remember that. That's BRL7. Yeah, I remember that.
So I think they should do something like that personally. But I know they can't because they split the titles. But me personally, I would have like the women. I would put the women on Raw because Raw's a 3-hour show. Have 1 hour for the women, and then you can have the other hour for the other titles. And then if you can do Raw talk, because I don't think wrestling should be 3 hours. That's just me, unless it's a premium live event or pay-per-view. And then SmackDown, you'll have your tag team division and your other singles championships. I would do something like that. That would be easier. Now, Cam, I get your point on how they're doing it. I think if they cleaned it up a bit, it would work. But I think they're trying to go back to the SVR days of Raw had the world title and everything like that, and then SmackDown have the WWE Championship. But it's good and all, but this is just me. I know I might catch heat for this, but I don't think we should even have the United States Championship or the Intercontinental Championship because it's part of it. Listen.
Whoa.
It's part of the world. It's part of the world. So I think what we should do, honestly, is I think we should have a WWE World Television Championship, and I believe that would showcase new talent and bring in some NXT stars to compete for it.
That part, I would not hate that part.
So then I'm out.
Only because of the name. Only because of the name of it. Because
so then
how can you be the world? Go ahead.
So then you only have one mid-card championship. Is that really showcasing enough talent? Because then you could get talent complaining, "Hey, I'm not getting enough opportunity."
You can defend it on both brands.
Oh, okay, I got you.
That's how I do it personally.
Also, before we get into the draft thing, since WWE is doing the draft, I've been on this boat for years. I want to see them do the WWE draft like an actual draft, like the way the NFL and the NBA does.
Yo, that would be so cool.
From them, and I hate. I understand why they're doing it on Raw SmackDown because the WWE draft is a ratings, because the WWE draft is a ratings booster. But I would have had it in a sense of where you do it on YouTube or something, and you don't have, and the show features 0 wrestling matches.
Bro, make it on Peacock and do an actual draft.
Yes.
Get him in suits and dresses, and make it who's gonna come to this brand.
Bro, you bring in some media members. Bro, you bring in some media members, and you show where you bring in some media members. You're gonna have Triple H walk out since he's the head guy in charge. Since he's the head guy in charge, you have Triple H go with the first pick in the WWE draft. Monday Night Raw selects, and then they sit there, do whatever, and they go Seth Rollins, and you throw up the accolades, or whatever, and then you have Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and the rest of the analysts talking about it. Man, what a great pick here by Monday Night Raw, picking up the architect Seth Rollins, man.
I don't think Triple H should do the announcing on that yet.
The drive right,
he should host it.
All that shit, and then afterwards you put up the clock. You put up the clock and NXT on the clock.
Yes. It's like the NFL draft.
Yes, that's what I want to see with the WWE draft. I hate the way they do it, where it's just like a podium out there. I hate that.
You know what? I would change that. If there's an adjustment that they should make next year, put the draft on Peacock and make it. I don't care if you're
a sport.
Yeah, make it
still a sport.
I don't care if it's copying. Make it like the fucking NFL draft. That shit would be awesome.
It'll be taken seriously too. What they should also do too is have you know how they always show on Raw where they're coming out of the cars, they're in their suits and stuff?
Yeah.
The champions need to have their titles with them.
Also, I would do it to where the champions are exempt from the draft. That's how I would do it. If you are a champion, you should be exempt from the draft. If you hold the WWE title, if you hold the world title, the women's title, the IC or the US title, you should be exempt from the draft. You should be exempt from it. That's what I want to see. You are exempt from the draft if you are any of those guys. That's
wild.
Okay, so would you do the logic of all champions will defend it on both brands, or one champion goes to a specific brand?
One champion goes to a specific brand. Like the WWE Championship, that shit stays SmackDown exclusive. The World Heavyweight Championship, that shit stays SmackDown exclusive. The champion, whoever the champion is, they're excluded from being drafted. And I would also go one step further. All right, I'd also go one step further with this. Not only that, but I would like for WWE to have I would also like for them to put in place where you have some protections. If I'm Nick Aldis or somebody, for example, if I'm Nick Aldis and I was working my ass off to sign somebody like Jade Cargill, now I can just lose her in the draft. Well, that's unfair. But you know how hard I had to work to get Jade Cargill to sign on the dotted line.
Do a trade block.
Yeah, exactly. To join my roster. You know what? The WWE draft coming up. You know what, man? No disrespect, bro. I'm gonna keep Jade Cargill, bro. I'm gonna throw a protection out on her. She's protected. Jade Cargill ain't leaving SmackDown. She's protected.
They should announce the protections before the draft starts, so that way they know who's going where.
That's what I agree, bro. If I'm Nick Aldis, bro, you think I want Roman Reigns leaving SmackDown?
No.
Protection on him. protect them. What about I don't care what you do with the other bloodline members. You can send Tama Tonga to this island for all I give a shit. I'm protecting my tribal chief. He's protected. Pierce, Ava, you can't get him. You can't get the tribal chief. Adam Pierce goes, oh, really? Well, guess what? You're going to protect Roman. I'm going to protect Cody. Cody ain't going nowhere either. Something like that. That's what I want to see with this draft.
I think Nick Aldis and Adam Pierce should be like, they should announce who they want. They'll be like, for Raw, we select this. I feel like Triple H should be the host of it. I think Triple H should either probably announce the first pick or the last pick. But I want these draft members to get that whole. The reason why they got drafted is because of this. Like, don't draft Charlotte Flair and put daughter of Hall of Famer Ric Flair for an accolade. Like, I mean, put like Royal Rumble winner or WrestleMania winner or anything. I mean, do something like that. But if it's still a sport at the end of the day, but I would not have an issue with that. But in my opinion, too, I would not have any fans in attendance for it, only because, or have fans that are like going to be on their best behavior. Don't have fans that are just going to like shit on the show. And I'll say this though too, because if I want to be professional, fans have to have a dress code, business casual, either polo and jeans for the men, nice outfit for the women. No, because if it's going to be treated seriously, then our fans should look at it seriously.
If they want to. If you got on a Cody Rhodes shirt, get your ass to the
wrestling t-shirt, or polo. That's what you got to wear.
You got a Cody Rhodes shirt, get your ass up out of here, bro. Business casual, wrestling fans, business casual. Take your ass to the local Walmart or whatever and buy a button-up shirt and get your ass in there. Okay.
Can you imagine Stephen A. Smith trying to cover the draft?
Yo. Imagine.
We are here for the WWE draft, and I just got to say, it's undisputed.
Imagine that, bro. That'd be lit. I know we are recording during NXT, but me and Cam, we were right. Roxanne Perez is still the NXT women's. The finish was Tatum hit a 450 splash onto Lyra. The ref counted to 2. Roxanne came in, rolled up Tatum, and pinned Tatum to retain the title.
You know what? Shawn Michaels got scared of Cameron. He goes, I ain't trying to lose my other eye, Cameron, so let me go ahead and make this happen.
So, there we go.
Good job, Cam. You politics your way to have Tatum Paxton not win the championship. Anytime he got that purple shirt on, you know how Hogan had them politicking pants? When Cam got that purple shirt on, that's how you know he's using his politicking outfit.
Oh, my God. But I really like that idea. Imagine how dope it would be if we treated it, if WWE treated it like the NFL draft. That would be phenomenal. But we're going to go through a list of names here and predict whether it be on Raw, SmackDown, NXT. So we all agree that Cody is going to be on SmackDown. How about the Bloodline?
SmackDown. I think they stay right where they are on SmackDown.
I do too.
I think they go to Raw.
You know what? I could see that because
they separate Cody and them for now.
That's true.
I would like to
put him on Raw.
The Rock can go wherever he wants. So if The Rock wants to
go... He can, literally and figuratively, he can go wherever he wants.
Yeah, the Rock's exempted from this. But you gotta have in the back of your mind, too. This is going to be the roster when Raw goes to Netflix in January. So I would imagine they want big names on their show. So, you know what? I could see the Bloodline heading over to Monday Night Raw. But
that's why I thought of it, too. And plus, Paul Heyman, Solo, and all of them, that could also introduce be like, ooh, you got to tune in Monday night to see only this.
Yeah. So I could see them going to Raw, but I'm going to go with SmackDown. Becky Lynch.
I think she goes wherever Seth goes. So I think Seth stays on. I think Seth goes to SmackDown. So
Me too.
Becky Lynch over to SmackDown.
Okay.
They both go to SmackDown.
I think she's right now because she's the women's world champion. So I think she stays with Raw.
So then, timeout. We just said Becky Lynch. Let's bring up Bayley. Is Bayley going to Raw?
I think Bayley stays on SmackDown. I think I have Becky Lynch going to SmackDown. But since she's the women's world champion now, I don't think that championship's going anywhere. So I think Becky stays on Raw.
Yeah, I'll take mine back. Becky will stay on Raw, and as well as Bayley will be on SmackDown. Only because Becky is a main draw, and that will be something you want to see on Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
Because Monday Night Raw is still going to be your flagship show no matter what.
Yep. I already know where I'm going with this one. The ring general Gunther is going to SmackDown because that's where Cody Rhodes is going to be.
I agree with that.
Yes. Both him, I'm making this now, him, Ludwig Kaiser, and Ilya Dragunov will both all go to SmackDown.
Oh, you think Ilya Dragunov's going to be in Imperium?
Yes.
Wow.
Only for a little bit. But I think it'll be a great addition.
I was literally going to mention him later, in like literally after Gunther. So you think Ilya is going to SmackDown?
That would be great. But I would not be against him going to Raw or having him and Giovanni take on Ludwig and Gunther.
I would like that.
That would be good too. Wherever it goes.
I want Ilya on the same show Walter's on the same show Gunther's on, so we can get Dragunov and Gunther eventually. But I want Dragunov on that. I want Dragunov on the same show Gunther's on.
Yes, but I think SmackDown will do good.
Yeah, I could see him going to SmackDown too. Another NXT superstar, Carmelo Hayes.
I think Carmelo Hayes.
Raw.
I think Carmelo Hayes would benefit on SmackDown. When he was showing up, he made like those few main roster appearances. He was on SmackDown, so I would like to see him stick with SmackDown, see what he could do there. So I think Melo sticks. I think Melo.
I'm gonna go.
I'm going Raw. Also going Raw.
I'm going
good.
I'm gonna go with SmackDown. I think he'd be a nice challenger for whoever champion is on there, whether it's the IC or US. And if he's a heel or a babyface, but I think he'd fit well on SmackDown. How about Drew McIntyre?
I think Drew stays on Raw.
Drew's on Raw. Drew is gonna be on Raw no matter what, as long as CM Punk's on there.
Yeah.
We got to get him to re-sign first. Because you imagine they draft him to Raw and then he just leaves. He's like, deuces, you got to get him to first. Like, Dad, we don't wasted a draft pick on Drew McIntyre. But
that would be wild.
If he resigns, he's staying with Raw. You got to do Drew McIntyre CM Punk. And Drew McIntyre is taking that championship off Damian Priest at Clash at the Castle if he resigns. So
yeah, I agree.
That'll be great to see.
We'll do three more here. LA Knight, yeah.
Raw. Put him on Raw. He has great exposure, and with him being on Netflix, I think he'll do great. I think he'll do great on Monday Night Raw. I think he's earned his time to get that Monday night. Honestly, he's worthy to get that Monday Night Raw opening promo segment.
Oh yeah, welcome to Monday Night Raw. Totally, I agree. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Jade Cargill.
Raw.
I think SmackDown. I would keep her on SmackDown.
Bianca will be good on SmackDown, but put Jade on Raw.
I think you got to keep
her. I think her presence will still look good. Like, because I'm thinking Netflix, they look at Jade, they're like, oh, look at this Amazon woman and stuff like that. And you could get the older fans to be like, oh, this reminds me of when China was on Raw. So I'm going for that logic. But SmackDown, you know what? But me personally, NXT.
I'll put her on.
She should have been in NXT because I haven't seen much improvement from AEW to where she is now. But she ain't going to NXT. She is going to be
maybe SmackDown because that's where Cody Rhodes is at. Wherever Cody is at, she'll go.
I think Jade Cargill's going to SmackDown. I think she's staying on SmackDown.
I think she's going to Raw because they want big superstars on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then trying to think of a final one. Let's go with Jey Uso.
I think Jey Uso goes to SmackDown.
I think Jey Uso goes wherever the bloodline goes.
Actually, I would keep Jey where he is. I would keep Jey Uso where he is because I like the idea of Jey Uso having to be traded to SmackDown. Because when we get the Usos reunited, I like the idea of Jey having to be traded to SmackDown.
I like to add this. I would personally like to switch the mid-card titles. I would want Logan Paul on Raw and put Sami Zayn on SmackDown.
They do that every year, though. I feel like one of the years they should keep it where it is. I think it should be this year.
Only because Logan Paul is known worldwide, and because in the summertime his brother's fighting Mike Tyson, in which Mike Tyson's gonna fucking win. I don't care. That's the only thing. Because you have to think. Because I'm thinking Netflix, public, who's acknowledged, how you're gonna attract the new viewers. So, because like I said, Monday Night Raw is gonna be the flagship show. No matter what, it's gonna be the flagship show of WWE. So I think that's what they'll probably do. Or do what they did back then. Raw would be the storylines, and SmackDown would have the better wrestling.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I
wouldn't be mad at that either.
Joseph, if you don't mind, I know this is our final one, Joseph, but if you don't mind, I wrote down some names that I would like to see get called up from NXT and some names that I would send to NXT, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, man.
I'm ready.
All right, so I got this here. Let me pull up this list here. But from NXT, I want to start with the women because I think the women's division desperately needs some new talent up there. I want to start with the women. The first name from NXT I would call up for the main roster for the women would be Kiana James. I really enjoy Kiana James on what she does. I think her character work is great. In the ring, she's good. Like, she's actually a good wrestler in the ring. And the same role that Carmella has on the main roster, I think Kiana James could fill that. So I think Kiana James could fill that. So I would call Kiana James up. Blair Davenport is somebody who I would also call up. Blair Davenport is very good in the ring. Shawn Michaels, they're not doing shit with her in NXT in a meaningful way right now. So I would like to see Blair Davenport up on the main roster.
She deserves better, in my opinion.
I agree, which is why I would call Blair Davenport up. JC Jane is one who I would also like to see called up. Out of the two members of Toxic Attraction, she has impressed me more than Gigi Dolan has. Gigi Dolan has not been good, but JC Jane has, not only with her character work, but in the ring too. So I would also like to see JC Jane get called up. And then Lyra Valkyria, I would like to see Lyra get called up because I don't think she's winning the NXT Women's Championship anytime soon. So
no.
Lyra Valkyria get called up. And then from the men, Baron Corbin. I would call Baron Corbin back up.
I would too.
I really enjoyed Baron Corbin in NXT, which is something I never thought I would say. Shawn Michaels has gotten me entertained by Baron Corbin. And the thing I like about Baron Corbin in NXT is he's just being himself. Like, he's not doing the lone wolf shit. You know, he has to.
Do you miss Olive Garden waiter Corbin, Cameron?
I really do miss broke ass Baron Corbin. But
Olive Garden waiter, black shirt, unlimited breadsticks. That's how Cam and I actually got into talking more because we were like, why does Baron Corbin look like an Olive Garden waiter?
I remember that. But I really enjoy Baron Corbin and I would hate to see the Wolf Dogs broken up so soon because the Wolf Dogs are fantastic.
They were great.
Yeah, mm-hmm. So I would like to see the Wolf Dogs get around on the main roster. So Baron Corbin is the name I will call up. Metaphor. I would also call up Metaphor. I think Metaphor would fit great on the main roster. I think Metaphor will fit great on the main roster. Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, I don't really have any use for them in the ring. But Noah Dar and Oriel Mensa are two fantastic wrestlers, and their character work is solid.
Are they really going to get pushed on the main roster, though? I mean,
I think they could be good comedy characters. I don't see any reason why the push Pretty Deadly got the push Pretty Deadly was getting before one of them got hurt. I don't see any reason why Metaphor can't get that. Metaphor is really funny. So I will call up Metaphor. Gallus, I don't know what the hell they're doing with them, but I will bring Gallus up to the main roster specifically to pair up with Drew McIntyre. I'll pair the Scottish boys up. Drew McIntyre gets some backup. And
Gallus should pair up to go with Imperium, in my opinion. Not side with them, but have a rivalry with them. I think that would be pretty cool.
And last but not least, Dijak. Dijak is my call up. I want Dijak on this main roster immediately. The man has been killing it down in NXT. He's gotten his confidence back, his mojo back. He went from being T-Bar to he found himself again. And so I would like to see that.
I'd send Final Testament down at NXT.
Yeah. I think they're going to go down too. I think Ivar's going down as well.
I think they should have Viking Raiders both too.
I wouldn't be mad at that, but I got both names on here. I got Karrion Kross More than AOP, but yeah, I have Karrion Kross going back down to NXT. This is no shade at Kross. He has something in NXT. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what the fuck happened to him, but he has something down there. I would like to see what Shawn Michaels could do with him. So I have Karrion Kross going back now. Shinsuke Nakamura is a name I would send down to NXT as well. He hasn't really been doing shit on the main roster. I think Nakamura going down there and working with those talents, I think that could really benefit them.
I think you should just go back to New Japan.
Oh, well, that shit ain't happening. Well, that shit ain't
I know he loves surfing. I know he loves his surfing, but
it ain't happening. But I would, I think a lot of the talents could benefit from working with Nakamura. In NXT, they get a big star on the main roster in Nakamura, and I would like to see what Shawn Michaels would do with Shinsuke Nakamura. I have faith in Shawn Michaels, so I would like to see what Shawn Michaels could do with Nakamura on NXT. Cedric Alexander and Ashanti the Adonis. I don't know how Cedric Alexander is still employed. I don't know how
neither do I.
Been employed for years, but if they're going to employ him, I would like to see Cedric and Ashanti go down to NXT.
Give me that 205 Live Cedric Alexander.
I agree. I would send him down to NXT. Mia Yim, as talented as she is, they're not doing shit with her on the main roster, so I would like Mia Yim go down to NXT. She
really never stood a chance. Let's be real. She never really stood a chance above any other women in the main roster.
I think she'll be a great star on NXT, but I don't think she's worthy to be in the OC.
I mean, she's already with the LC, so the LC already down there, so I would have Mia Yim go down there as well.
I don't think she should be part of it, period, personally.
I get what she's saying, but still. Maxine Dupree. I would send Maxine Dupree to NXT. I love Maxine Dupree. Maxine Dupree is great.
With Akira Tozawa.
In the ring, she ain't got it. I would drop Maxine Dupree off in NXT, and I'd also send Tozawa and Otis to NXT, because I'm thinking the way this is going to go is Chad Gable is going to kick Otis and Tozawa out of the Alpha Academy, and Chad Gable is going to get some new students. So
Perk Gable.
I'm going to be Julius Creed, Brutus Creed, and Ivy Nine.
Oh, I'm ready for that. I love the Creed brothers.
So we get some new students in the academy, and Chad Gable kicks them out. I would like to see Tozawa, Maxine Dupree, and Otis going out to NXT as well. Also, they have a money storyline right there where Chad Gable kicks them out of the Alpha Academy, and Chase University is there to pick them up. I would like to see that.
Okay.
To see that, or Chad Gable works out a deal to where he sends them to NXT. With Chase University. So those are names I would call up from NXT. Those are some names I would send down to NXT. But yeah.
I like it, man. It's some very good pitches. And I thought you were going to put the D'Angelo family into calling up on the main roster. Like, way too early for them.
I would not call them up yet.
No. I wouldn't either.
Although I do like the scenario of when somebody gets released from their contract. When WWE storyline, they just play it off as the D'Angelo family killed them. They did that same shit. They did that same shit with Drew Gulak because it looking like Drew Gulak about to be out of a job. I saw NXT last week. They basically said without saying it. Drew Gulak in NXT no more because the North Quarter Catch crew paid the D'Angelo family to murder Drew Gulak. They paid him to get rid of him. So I would like to see that happen now when WWE releases somebody get released. And when somebody gets released, the D'Angelo family took care of them. The D'Angelo family murdered them. You ain't gonna see them no more.
Well, this is our final segment on the show, and this is nice, relaxed. We're playing a game. This is called This Week in WWE Throwbacks. So basically what this is recent. It could be, I go from when I started, not from when I started, but like 2002. So from that point on. So we can guess an event, a match. This week we're going to be guessing an event. And as the host of this week, I'm the host, and Escobar and Cameron, they're going to be trying to figure this out. So This is in the week of April 22nd to April 28th. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right. So this event took place 6 years ago to Saturday, April 27th, 2018. This was the first event not outside of a United States, but the first event in a brand new country I'm not going to spoil it, outside of the United States with a huge deal with the WWE. You guys have 2 minutes to guess the event. This happened 6 years ago.
Unlimited guesses, or we get one shot?
I'm going to go ahead.
Oh, no. It's a 2-minute timer.
I know this already.
I think I might know it too.
This is the greatest Royal Rumble from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, from Jeddah, either Riyadh or Jeddah, Saudi Arabia in 2018.
God damn it.
They did Roman and Brock Lesnar with
that steel cage match. John Cena versus Triple H.
What was the finish of the steel cage match?
The both of them went through the cage.
Didn't Roman spear Lesnar, and then Lesnar ended up winning?
Yes.
And then they did that 50-man Royal Rumble match. And I remember this specifically. They did this because they had that sumo guy. They had that sumo guy.
The sumo guy.
They had the sumo guy in the match. And apparently, the sumo guy was a makeup for Yokozuna. So the Saudi Prince, I guess, told Vince McMahon, "Hey Vince, you think we can get Yoko on that show? You think we can get Yoko on this show?" And Mr. McMahon was like, "Gosh, it would have took a lot of magic for Mr. McMahon, Yokozuna to appear on that show." So they have that sumo.
So yes, this was pretty easy. This was a pretty easy guess for you guys. This is the greatest Royal Rumble. How can you not talk about the greatest Royal Rumble without talking about Titus O'Neil? Come on, man. That was legendary. So go ahead.
I think because it ended on short notice, I think we should talk about a favorite Backlash match that I think everybody should watch. I'll go first, and Cameron's gonna be like, "Of course you're gonna choose this," but Backlash. Go ahead.
Let me guess. It's Triple H and The Rock from Backlash 2000.
Honestly, no, that's not it. Actually, that is a good one, but no. My favorite Backlash match of all time, Backlash 2006, Triple H versus John Cena versus Edge.
That is a great match.
That's a great triple threat match.
That is a great
honestly, I might watch it after this recording. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch it, honestly.
That was a good match.
That is a tremendous match. Triple H is bloody. Triple H is just covered in blood. He lays out Edge and Cena with the sledgehammer and the show ends.
Fine bust Lita and everything.
And the show ends with Triple H on the ramp.
It's got to be on Peacock, right? I remember.
It is. Backlash 2006.
Yeah. Got to go back and watch that. So.
WWE have had some very good Backlash shows.
Yeah.
WWE have had some very good Backlash shows. Backlash 2000, Backlash 2000.
04?
Backlash
05 was good.
Backlash 2005, 06, 07. Backlash 2009, which is
2009 was fun.
Which is one of the best shows. Right. There are a lot of WWE Backlash shows that are some of the best that company's ever produced.
Don't forget about last year, man. That was one of the better shows of the year.
That was a tremendous show, bro. That crowd, bro. That crowd made that show. That's my favorite.
Bad Bunny's entrance did not have to go so hard. As a Puerto Rican myself, that did not have to go so hard. I'm just saying.
Bro, Backlash 2, bro. Everybody who's watching this, watch Backlash 2000. Backlash 2000 is what the WrestleMania card that year should have been. I'm telling y'all right now. 2000 is what WrestleMania that year should have been. That Backlash 2000 was tremendous. That was a tremendous show. But my favorite Backlash match of all time. My favorite Backlash match of all time, I got two of them. I got John Cena and Edge, and the last man standing from Backlash 2009.
Wasn't that when Big Show put John Cena through the freaking light?
Yes. Minus the
yes.
I liked it. That was a cool finish. I liked it.
Like you had John Cena delivering the AA, the Edge, in the crowd and shit. That was a Backlash 2009. That is a
That's my favorite Backlash match of all time. Just for the memory of the Big Show choke slamming John Cena into that machine. That was sick.
So watch that, and also the Fatal 4-Way, man, from Backlash 2007. John Cena versus Randy Orton versus Shawn Michaels versus Edge. One of the best Fatal 4-Way matches WWE ever produced, and just a tremendous. The finish of that match is tremendous, man. Where Shawn Michaels at the end of it is going absolutely insane, and Shawn Michaels. He super kicked, and Shawn Michaels is laying everybody out with a super kick. And Shawn Michaels is exhausted. Shawn Michaels super kicks Cena, and Cena falls backwards on Randy. And Cena falls backwards on Randy Orton for the finish. And before Shawn Michaels could even realize what happened, it was too late. John Cena already retained. That finish is incredible. Like Shawn Michaels is in the ring, he's going crazy. Shawn Michaels is super kicking everything. He takes out Edge. He takes out Randy. Then he takes out Cena. And the way he super kicks Cena and the way Cena falls back on Randy Orton for the pinning position.
Yo.
And before Shawn could even realize what was before it was happening, it was too late. That is a tremendous match. Y'all need to watch.
That's another good one too. I'm gonna watch that. Backlash is some pretty good, decent shows actually. I've always liked Backlash.
I wish they would do another like that because that
just not Backlash show 2 where Triple H lost the Hulk Hogan. That still pisses me off to this day. If I'm honest with you, that's still.
Do not watch Backlash 2018. That's just
no. Dude, the only good match on that show was Seth Rollins versus The Miz. That was the only good match on the show.
That Miz card vortex was real though. I'll say that honestly.
Yeah. I can't. Oh, it was. What was the main event that year? It was AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Nope, the main event that year was Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That crowd shit all over it.
Some guy called Joe.
That's right. I forgot. Oh my god. So
you said 2018 awesome. Backlash 2018.
Yeah, they did Reigns go in the main event that year. And
that's right.
This was WWE's peak desperation.
Don't forget that was also Big Cass's last one of his last events.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This was WWE's desperation in 2018. They were doing everything in their power to try and get Roman Reigns over. Like, please cheer for this man. Everything they could.
But what about the greatest wrestling match ever?
Oh, I remember that. That was a good match. It was really.
I enjoyed it. I love the WWE All-Stars concept they did of it. That camera work was what's up though.
I can watch that. I might go back and watch that match, even though it's in the Performance Center. That match was great.
That camera work was pretty sick. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up episode 1 of Chopping It Up here on the Big Fight Field channel. Tremendous. What a time. Talking about Becky Lynch from last night, talking about the draft, Cam's pitches with the WWE draft, Escobar, making me invested in what Liv Morgan is going to be doing on WWE television. I'm so sorry that my event being guest was terrible. It took these guys about 10 seconds to guess that the event was the greatest Royal Rumble, but that's okay.
I don't think it's because your guess was terrible. As I told you before,
we're fans of this shit. We know this shit.
I'm a WWE. As I told you before, more so than any other promotion, I'm a WWE junkie. I would do quizzes on Sporkle for fun, and end with like an 87%, like a 90. When I miss, I'm like, damn! I'm like, damn, I forgot that dude was the Intercontinental Champion. Like, damn, or some shit like that, or I forget which episode of the Rated podcast. But watch Rated. But there's an episode of the Rated podcast where me and Mo just went toe to toe with WWE trivia. And we were like neck and neck. Like we were doing shit like name like the last. It was like name every WWE Intercontinental Champion in chronological order from this reign.
God!
I like me and Mo were like tooth and nail. Then we got to the WWE Championship. I like me and Mo were tooth and nail on that too. Mo knows more than I do in that shit. Mo knows his shit. Mo went all the way back to like Bruno and Buddy Rogers. I was sitting there going,
not all the way to 1963.
I was sitting there like, what the hell? Like he went all the way back to that. But let's believe, I know my shit.
That's crazy, man. That is so insane. But next week here on Chopping It Up, Escobar is going to be our host, and next week is Backlash week. So I'm sure we're going to be talking a lot of Backlash. Don't forget, man, when we do This Week in WWE next week, it's got to be something in either a particular Backlash event or a fucking match that happened at Backlash.
I got you.
Gotta be
And
Backlash.
Joseph, work up on your Triple H knowledge. I guarantee you it's going to be.
You will definitely have to work up on that. I will say this though: next week's event is going to be Backlash trivia, and you guys have to answer 5 questions.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Dude, I'm going to be watching a lot of Backlash shows this week, let me tell you.
Definitely watch 2006, 2002, and 2005.
I
got you, man. So
only because those are my guys' matches, but I'm still pissed at Triple H losing to Hulk Hogan. I'm still upset with that.
Man,
I'm not. Look, I'll just say this: I'm more upset about Triple H losing to Hogan than the hog pin match with Henry Godwin in 1996. No way that Hulk Hogan should have won the Undisputed title in 2002. But I get why they did it. Still don't like it though.
Be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel for some more content. We're going to be back on here next week. Don't know what day yet, but we're going to be back. Comment down below about everything that we talked about. Let me know your thoughts. Let us know. Becky Lynch, the new Women's World Champion. What's going to happen in the WWE draft? Your thoughts on the WWE releases. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from us. You can follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph. Escobar, now's your time to promote everything.
All right. So I'm just going to make this as fast as I can. You can follow me on Twitter /X at Escobar2K1. You can follow me on Instagram at Escobar Morales2K1. Also check out PWF Live for upcoming shows in the Premier Wrestling Federation in the glorious coast of Eastern North Carolina. And if you ever get a chance, check out the Rated M podcast where you can join me, Cameron, Mo, Chris, and Lewis, where we'll be discussing a very new series known as Wrestler's Court in May. And that's all I got. Cam, take it away, man.
Subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Cam71101. Follow me on Twitter at Cam71101. Subscribe to the Rated M subscribe to the Rated M podcast. We're gonna be back. We're gonna be back again this Thursday talking some more. We're gonna be back again this Thursday talking some more bullshit. Let's believe. But yeah, so yeah, that's it. Also, subscribe to the Big Fight Field YouTube channel. Make sure y'all do that. And also, if you are into TNA Impact, then you need to go over to BodySlam.net's YouTube channel and you need to check out my homie Burt Macklin with the TNA Impact reviews. That man knows his shit when it comes to TNA. So
yeah. Give him credit to that, too.
Or if you want to get into it, hit that man up. Hit up bodyslam.net and check out Burt Macklin's TNA reviews. I promise you, man, it's great. And Burt also said he'd pay me $5 if I said this on the show tonight. But that man looks like Justin Timberlake. I'm not gonna believe it. So
what?
God.
NSYNC JT or 2000s after the breakup of Britney Spears?
NSYNC JT. Burt
said that's prime JT. Okay, I'll take it.
I love it, man.
Burt said he got kicked out because they thought he was. Burt said he got kicked out because they thought he was better looking, and Justin Timberlake couldn't handle that.
I believe it. I believe it.
Shout out to Burt, man. Shout out to him.
I love his dog for his Twitter profile picture.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
Mm-hmm. Thank you guys all so much. We will see you here next week for episode 2 of Chopping It Up. This is Joseph Conlon, Escobar Morales, Cameron Johnson signing off. Stay classy and always love wrestling. Peace.
I don't watch wrestling. I watch sports entertainment.